What's 1 and 1? 11. That's right. Welcome to Rapid Lick 11. Okay, so today's Rapid Lick is it's a Satchel inspired lick, or Russ Parrish for those of you who actually know who he is. Anyway, for those of you who don't know who he is, Satchel is the lead guitar player. Actually, he's the only guitar player. Anyhow, he's the lead guitar player for the band Steel Panther. He's a phenomenal player. He's been on the scene for a long, long time, and as you can probably hear by the lick, takes a lot of inspiration from the typical suspects from 80s shred guitar or late 70s kind of Van Halen sort of stuff. Anyhow, so the lick I'm going to show you is it's a tapping run. It's very Van Halen style, but it's sequenced. I got the idea from this when I was learning the solo to Steel Panther's 17 Girls in a Row. Satchel plays basically an Eddie Van Halen style tapping pattern, but the interesting thing he does is he sequences it. And he sequences it kind of more like a CC DeVille sort of run, but we're not going to cover that. I'm just going to show you the sequence I put together, which is kind of in the style of what Satchel does. And hopefully you can figure this out and use it in your own playing. And just before we get started here, folks, something I need to mention. I am tuned down half a step. Now, I think pretty much everything that Russ Parrish, Satchel, writes in Steel Panther is down half a step. I like to call this Van Halen tuning because that's when I first encountered it, was Van Halen, and I don't really see many people doing it before them, but I could be wrong. If I am, comment below, let me know. Anyhow, so we're down half a step. Also, for the purpose of this tutorial, what I'm going to be teaching you is the lick in D minor. I mean, it's not actually D minor because we're down half a step, but just ignore that. For our purposes, think D minor. Also, to make things a bit easier, this is going to be completely pentatonic, so no notes outside of the pentatonic scale. In the 17 Girls in a Row solo, Satchel definitely uses some stuff out of the Aeolian scale, but we're going to avoid that just for teaching here. Anyway, so let's get at it. Alright, so that's tap lick. Let's play that through one time slowly. Okay, so for the lick, what you need to know is, again, we're thinking D minor pentatonic. So find your D note. That's, of course, right up here on good old fret number 10 on the low E string. And, of course, that's pentatonic box shape number 1. Simple. Good. Now, the other thing you're going to need to know for this lick is the next pentatonic box shape of D minor. So I think of that basically as the major pentatonic box because it'll be up here on the F, which is the relative major of D minor. See that? Minor, major, minor, major. Anyway, so for this shape, basically pentatonic box number 2, it'll look like this. Got it? Okay, perfect, good. Let's get into the lick. Alright, so how does this lick go? What I need you to do, jump up here to the 10th fret on the high E string. I want you to tap. You can use either your middle finger or your middle finger, whatever feels comfy. I do it with my middle finger, just so I can keep my pick, whoops, if I can maintain forward control of my pick, just so I can keep my pick like that in case I need to jump back in and start playing. Anyway, so 10th fret, high E string. Take your middle finger, or your index finger, tap onto 15, pull off back to the 10, and then you hammer on to the 13. See how that works? That's basically the kind of tapping we're going to be doing for this whole sequence. So this is what we have so far. Now what I need you to do is repeat that exact same thing but on the B string. So hammer on to the 15th fret on the B, pull off to the 10, hammer on to the 13. So far we've got this. Now, because this is all pentatonic, this is where things get a little bit wonky. Now when we go into the G string, I need you to hammer on or tap onto the 14th fret, pull off to the 10th fret, hammer on to the 12th. And that's the entire sequence that's just going to get recycled all the way through this, okay? So what does that sound like? Good, perfect. Now we're going to jump back one string onto the B and repeat this again. So You guessed it. We're gonna tap on 15 on the B, pull off to 10, hammer on to 11, tap on the G on the 14th, pull off to 10, hammer on to 12. Now we jump back up to the 15 here on the G string, tap, pull off to the 10 on the G string, and hammer on to the 12. So this is what we have so far. Good. Now, of course, I want to make this cycle through a few more times and sound a bit more interesting, so we're going to jump back again one more time onto the G string. And what you're going to do on the G string is same thing. Hammer onto the 14, pull off to the 10, hammer onto the 12, and then tap on the D string, the 15, pull off to the 10, hammer onto the 12, and yep, you got it. Hammer onto that A string, 15th fret, pull off to the 10, hammer onto the 12. Now, of course, that was a sequence of 3 strings. You've probably noticed the pattern here. We're going to jump back again one more string, and this is the final time we're going through. All right, so let me play through this one time from the top, and then we'll finish off the last little sequence, okay? Here we go. Good. Okay, so now for the last little sequence bit here, it's the same thing repeating, but we just need to finish out this pattern in D minor pentatonic. So, as you may have already guessed, we're going to hammer on to the D string, 15, pull off to the 10, hammer on to 12, A string, hammer on to 15, pull off to 10, hammer on to 12, last string, the big E string, hammer on to 15, pull off to 10, and because of the pattern shape, you're gonna have to go up to the 13th fret here, and you're done. You can resolve back here to the D or hit the D here if you like. When I was playing this, I did something a little bit different. I might talk about that later. Anyway, so that's the entire pattern. All right, let's do this whole thing together slowly. And at a quick pace. There you go, you got it. Oh, you want the ending I just played? Okay. Yeah, that's a bit of a Satchel inspired thing too. I guess I can show you what I'm doing. So all I'm doing is targeting flat 5s. That seems to be something Satchel likes to do in his runs. So I thought, why not throw it in there? It sounds like a Satchel thing to do. Might as well do it. So if you want to do that, you know that the scale where we started was right here or here on the D note. What I want you to do is jump behind that. So 8th fret high E string, hammer onto 10. Good. Jump down onto your A string. We're going to play the 8 again. Now what I do is I slide off of this 8 into the 10. And then once I slide into the 10, I take my next 2 fingers and I hammer down 11, 12. So this is what we've got so far. Okay, sound pretty simple. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm going 7, root, and I'm jumping down to the 3rd, sliding into the 4th, flat 5, 5. So that's the entire sequence. Now, because you heard me do this all the way up, if you want to keep doing this, all you need to do is jump down one more string onto your D and just play the exact same pattern, but starting on the 10. Make sense? Good. Now to finish it off, we need to start this on the 13th fret, but same thing. just like that. Now you can just jump back here to the D, which is sitting on the 15th fret on the B, or if you want to do like me, put a big bend in there, seems kind of satchely, and then go to your D, whatever works for you. All right, so there you go. That's the entire Satchel-inspired Eddie Van Halen kind of tapping sequence thing that I put together. Again, based off of what Satchel was doing in 17 Girls in a Row. Really cool solo. If you haven't listened to it before, check it out. Lots of neat phrasing, really clever runs, and really gives you a feel for Satchel's interesting kind of playing. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. Feel free to upload videos of yourself on Instagram playing along to this. Just make sure you hashtag RapidLick so I can come find you. And if you have any comments or suggestions about what you'd like to see, feel free to leave me a comment below. I do actually read these, so I'll probably get around to doing a video if you have a request. And as always, just keep on shredding, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now. Now, the other thing you're going to need to know, So, this is what we got. So,